How's it going, viewers? We are doing preliminary deck ideas for BP03. We've had some time to sit with things for a little bit. So these are some ideas I had for how to play some of decks set for the Ultraman card game. Now these are not like finalized lists, but they should give you some skeletons if you're trying to think about how to build some things, or not sure where to start. That'd be great starting points, y'all. So let's just get into it real quick. 5 decks for you. First one is Ultraman Orb. So key strength is drawing cards. When it plays a triple, you draw 2 cards. Give an orb plus 1000 BP turn. So let's talk about weaknesses. Orbs are of a BB2 fight for the lead. Like it is have like a lot of burst power. Really good triples, a lot of triples everywhere, but cannot burst very well. And it lacks low power, 16,000 power on this one. And this one, other key orb, which is start a card to give 1,000, but if you just want to carry a card, plus 2,000. So if it's a scene card, plus 2,000. And it's also 16,000. So these 16,000 hurt. So the great pairing orb is Juggler. We have Orb Juggler deck right here. Juggler perfectly fits all of Orb's weaknesses and takes care of them by being a card that lets you gives you that burst potential, whether you use it to close out games or to survive a turn, keep you in orbs going. What Juggler is there for. So you can use a card at random for your opponent. If they reveal a character card, then you get to BP any Juggler, which is very solid. And it doesn't require you to discard cards from hand, which is something that Ray decreases. Discard something, doesn't, kind of keeps on the theme of your cards in your hand orb, which is nice. So the Juggler level 3 is giving first option. Gonna fit very well. So the Juggler scene, Juggler dies, is lets you deal the card again at random, and if it's a character card, you get plus 2,000, plus 1,000 twice. 2 of your characters get plus 1,000. That's gonna kind of fix the 16,000 issue that bumping them up to 17 is way easier. High on an orb to discard a card to give power wins. Juggler is, I think, a great pair for Orb, but I do have some other pairings for Orb. I like Orb Blazar. Hopefully, we'll get some game patience solo. So let's move on to our next deck. Is Speed Beyond. This is a very, very rough draft. I have tried this deck a little bit. He got some new fun tools in the set. So this deck is a mainly Geed deck, all about Geed. If it gets paired up against a power or armed type, discard a card, BB grade increase. So just so love this. I love this art. I love this pose. I like Geed. I gotta say, I like Geed. Idea here is to use this card along with the new Zero Beyond to boost your powers up. And Zero Beyond lets you discard 1 card and give a basic or power a BB grade increase. That's kind of like a little Mebius. We all know how good Mebius is. It's kind of like a Mebius effect for all your Geed. We're playing a really small cons just to get it online. The Geeds gonna take. The Geeds are the star of the show after that. So I'd like to keep it mostly Geed focused so that you can, so I can be me. Also, all your Geeds can be a little bit more aggressive doubles, especially with the on. And it's been okay in my testing, not like super fantastic. Might not have kind of cracked perfect ratios. Sometimes you really need to get the ratios of a deck right before it like together. Um, I'm not using the Zero Beyond Scene, even though I really, really want to. This card is fantastic. Whenever you discard a card, if you have a card that happens, so that kind of makes your effects free. You dig through the deck a little bit more. I like to do that. We're using that. I haven't how and what decks maybe Zero Beyond can be paired with something else. Let me know if you have any ideas. This is something I really want to do. I really want to use this scene, get some oomph out of it, but I haven't quite found my Geed Beyond deck to start off with. Really, it's kind of confusing when you look at it here, but it's 4 level 1 0, 4 level 2 0, 4 level 3 0, and just a bunch of Geed. Just a bunch of Geed. And we're using his magic skills, which is the opponent type to arm, which you saw the new Geed, like having an arm opponent, and there's 2, which like opponent. So that's kind of nice. I don't know if it not sure how to get this deck quite going. I do want to, really like mostly because I really like. So that's Eid Beyond. That's kind of like the budget deck, so to speak, of this set. There's no rare. Only triple rare is from the starter deck 02 with the not really triple rare, so easy to pick up, but haven't quite cracked the code. If you have, badly, but Eid might be just be in my Decker Geed deck for now. I also really like that deck. All right, here it hit a big bad boy right in the middle. Belial Juggler. Juggler getting this video. Am I right? Let's pull up the big boy. Now, Ultraman. Double, triple effect activate once per turn. Discard one card from your hand, not Ultra Hero, and give one of your Belial or one of your Kaiju with an extra BP, a BP or one. Oh my gosh. This is basically Mebius on an 8,000 body. No, we gotta play. So, what's kind of the issue with Belial's? You know, with Orb, we had regular kind of fixed having the extra first. Um, so Belial really just needs more cards in hand. Mebius played against Mebius. Like, you get so much value just by having any cards in your hand, card them, and boost things to the. So we really want to get extra card draw, extra, and so I'm just pairing him, and I don't want to pair him with heroes because he can't discard Ultra. Level 5 Searcher is top 3 for Kaiju. Really wanted to pair him with a Leaves. In terms of added card draw and consistency, it leads us to Arc and Juggler, and I think Juggler is 2 because of almost similar reasons. Belial definitely doesn't need the burst in the same way that Orb does, but it does. Plus power effect. The things that make BS such a strong deck is that it has access to both BP grade up and plus power effect. So Juggler Scene giving plus units gives you that plus power, combined with Belial's BP boosting for a very, very deadly combination. This deck, I'm 8 Scene. Juggler and Belial, you get Searchers, which are like top 5. And I just want to get all those cards in my hand. I just want to get all those cards in my hand. And also because Juggler dies is. Let's talk a little bit about other cards in the deck. First important identity. Now, Juggler dies, of course, is the but this one is no slouch. If you have a Belial, you can change the type of one Ultra Hero opponent for your Kaiju to basic, power, speed. Very important. You can turn off opponent's effects, change them to the wrong type. So we just saw 0 B1 buffs a basic or power Geed by BP. You can change your opponent's Geed to a type speed, and they're unable to use the zero beyond. So you can do some really funky things, but mainly there's a lot of cards, Belials and jugglers that BP grade themselves. So I think for me, the initial thought is let's use this so that our kaijus don't have where I'm not really interested in making our kaiju not have bad matchups as opposed to turning things in. So it's like I'm trying to do more upside than down. For example, this Ultra Belio, while your opponent's battle type is power, it gets a B. You can use identity, turn your opponents into power type, get the BP boost. It's a very strong effect combined with Belial's triple rares discard effect. You could play this as a 1 and boost it up to a 6 really easily. Juggler also has level 2 that gets a boost on Geed type, so that the Geed identity is gives you a lot more value than you might admit. And of course, we can't talk about Belial without the big boy Zeton. This is such an insane. First of all, it has that EX power that Belial needs. If your opponent BP grades the battle opponent of this one, it's a massive 20,000. So you can checkmate a lot of strategies here by playing this as a double, putting it up to 14. It's going to beat a lot of other doubles. Or you can play it, and if you have Belial, you can bump it to the 14. That's going to force your opponent to respond. And there's not a lot of cards that will beat 14 outright. The main one that comes to mind is Mebius Lightning Counter level 3. Play that as a 2/3 double. It's a 13 card to make it up. So that will sneak it away, but they have to be constantly discarding cards. And if you make this one a double and 16 with Belial, God, maybe. But this card really kind of puts a pinch on people because they can't easily beat the 14 and they can't use a BP boost or else you 20. We get a little bit of Zeton action. As this Zeton in particular, there is another Zeton from set 2, which is at 8,000, 12,000. If your opponent's a double type, then it boost, so 12,000. This card is very solid. But my thought was this one being a 13,000 on the double means this card with Belial. So I quite like that. Just having more things to do versus Belial. Speed type is not that common in terms of higher end, so I'll have to revisit this whether I like this one. But I kind of just wanted to make sure I had more things to boost. So that is the Belial Juggler deck with a sneak peek of Zeton. I'm trying to splash a little bit more of the kaijus in my decks because it's just fun. And there's some really strong. It's so good, but it's a little inconsistent. Belial definitely gets to make use of it. I've considered playing more of a kaiju heavy build, doing so much playing. But the reason that I recommend this build, I would suggest this build, is because you have a lot of the draws in 5 draws, and Belial needs cards in hand to discard to get his effects. And my gut feeling is that if you play a deck that like kaijus, a lot of no juggler or no arc, then you'll end up in a situation you're really, really, really reliant on triple rare Belial into your hand, and if it doesn't happen, you're going to be hurting. So that's been 3 decks. I think this is our 4th deck. This is the gun special. Mebius Ginga. I think we all know Mebius, so I won't bring. We'll bring up the Ginga. The Ginga is definitely the strongest or most versatile triple rare that came out of. So just for a refresher, a single or double if you have 2 or more double ultra heroes gets BP grade up. So if it's single, it's 11. Double, it's a 17. If you have 4 or more, it becomes an 8. I think this is kind of unrealistic to shoot for in a lot of it because having triples is doubles can be good. Like Nebius, you have a discard, you can boost, you can power, but it's much nicer just to have those as a triple. So, and then if you magically get to the 4, then it's great. This deck is not shooting for that for sure. Ginga has been, I would say, the king of support for set 3. You can put in Ginga into anything and it's gonna have some Ginga Orb. I've seen Ginga Orb. I've seen Ginga Arc. Got Ginga. Yeah, Ginga's here, and he's here to stay, and he's to change up the order. So this is our example with Mebius. Very similar to Mebius Ari, but just swaps for Ginga. You can really put this play in. Seen a lot of decks playing even hit engines if you want to try that. So it's like 2 level 1s, 4 level 2s, 4 level 3. That's like all you really need to get Ginga going, and you can put him in anything and have a good. And then let's touch on the scene really quick. I think Ginga's scene is very, very powerful, but a little bit tricky. Because you can give 2 of your single or double plus 2000 BP per turn, and then you just card the scene. But to do that, you have to like send the bottom of one of your Gingas back to your hand, which is kind of nice. With this, you can send it back to your hand, you get a card to discard things, and you get the plus 2000s. So it definitely can kind of pop off with this effect for sure. But it can be tricky to get singles or doubles that are strong enough that you. That's game Nebius. Just like would be able to give you a better rundown of this one. There's a very strong contender. I mean, Ginga anything is, and I think why have the Zeta good. And then here's gonna be our last deck for the day. Oh, I guess I screenshot it. This is a Tiga next. Now I will caveat this where Duncan has been messing with a Blackstar Nexus a lot better than Tiga Nexus. Some things as Twitterverse for Nexus. So let's look up Nexus. The most important thing for Nexus is playing the scene. This scene Labyrinth is so insane. So you send the top card of your deck to discard. Sent was a scene card. Get plus 2 Ultra Heroes. That is a game winner right there. Boom, boom, boom. Bing, bang, bang, boom. But if you don't get it, then you can give your opponent's character minus 2000. No matter what, you get 1 2000 difference. And then if you get the jackpot, 2, it is in. So the idea behind Tiga Nexus is you use Tiga to do the lane swap into 3, and then you win, and then you get the scene out, and you have a good time. Now the issue with this deck is that it's hard to get the Tiga triple consistent as well as the Labyrinth. So that's one. Adjustments and some ideas to use Tiga Blazar, some different ideas that makes it a little bit more of a strategy for I think Nexus hasn't quite been figured out yet, but I think it's mostly because of the scene is insane. Ultraman itself is very strong. You can play him on a double. You can discard your opponent's scene, or you can put one of your scenes on. You can set up scene to get a double 1000, nuke your opponent's scene, and to do that, and by doing that, then you give one of your. If you set up the nuts, this is a plus 6000 BP spread amongst 2000, 2000, 2000 spread amongst your field. Like I said, absolutely insane. It also gives you scene control and on this. And I think scenes are only as the game goes on, as better scenes, as we get these level 3 scenes, which are scene. So scene control, very, very important. Just like, you know, set of play. So that's why the idea here is for Tiga and Nexus, because Nexus, again, Tiga will help you get the Labyrinth there, play the Labyrinth, you get the nut draw, and you win. But again, it's very reliant on the tree. I'm getting that. They said I don't super love decks that rely on getting a single triple rare to get going. That's kind of the issue. There will be, I think, some Blades action, a little bit more mix, a little bit more versatile in how to play. I'll be showcasing that in the future. Those are my 5 decks. Oh. Those are my 5 decks for initial out BP03. I hope you enjoyed them. I hope it gives you a starting point about the most important thing to think about is having fun with your deck combination. Buy things that you want to try. Just give them a whirl, give them a go. If it doesn't work out, it's time. Just have fun with the game. It's all about. That's what it's about. I try my best to make things a little bit competitive. I want to do well. I want to eventually go to the bigger tournaments. So I have more competitive focus. I want to play Geet. I want to have a little fun with it too. I can't be serious business all the time. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy these decks. In the next one, peace.